Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to show you two absolutely stunning artwork cards, which are going to be coming around, well, in Japan, they have just come around in Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist. Over here, they're going to be part of the Chilling Reign expansion, and they are featuring Shadow Rider and Ice Rider Calyrex. And we might as well start off with Shadow Rider Calyrex here because, oh my goodness, this is just about some of the best artwork I've ever seen in the Pokemon TCG. And I'm genuinely a little bit upset about this. Because generally speaking, I can look at these kind of cards and go, you know what? I don't need them. I can do without them. I can survive. The problem is, firstly, I am a big fan of Shadow Rider Calyrex. Secondly, the art is amazing. Thirdly, it's drawn by Mitsuhiro Arita, that I have said on a few occasions that actually this is one of my favorite artists in the Pokemon TCG. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite artists generally. And it's also a super playable card, which means this is going to be a very, very expensive card when it actually comes out over here. This is going to be a card that you are going to have to pay a few quid to get your hands on. So it's kind of got that trifecta of Pokemon I like, artists I like, amazing artwork. And it's a superbly playable card, which means that everybody is going to be after it, both collectors because it's amazing, and players because lots of people want the blingiest version of cards in their deck, and this is unfortunately the blingiest version of this card. So, rip my wallet, ladies and gentlemen. Hey ho. Mitsuhiro Arita, for what it's worth, I did get a chance to meet and actually interview at the Dallas Regional Championships a couple years ago. Got a Mamoswine and a Donphan card signed, and shall we say, lovely, lovely dude. And also, there are so many times I find a random card, like this Trapinch, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who the artist is on this particular card, and it's like, oh, it's Mitsuhiro Arita. Plus, the Full Art Excadrill. I mean, I could keep going here, but you probably get the point by now. Big fan of Mitsuhiro Arita. So, the artwork here, it's like a giant shadow horse kind of jumping over a house. Apparently, Shadow Rider Calyrex is absolutely massive. To be fair, 2.4 meters tall officially, which is actually quite tall, 7'10". But also, really? That's more than 7 foot tall, unless it's just like a really small house. So the reason why this is so good, I mean, I've called this the best card since Zoroark GX, and I stand by it, incidentally. It is an absolutely over-the-top amazing card. It's got a rather ridiculous ability that says once during your turn, you may attach your psychic energy from your hand to one of your bent psychic Pokemon, then draw 2 cards. Obviously, our translation from the lovely Antoine Boulet. That should be a given by now. And that is good in 2 ways, right? Firstly, you're accelerating energy on an ability, which is great. And secondly, you're drawing 2 cards on an ability, which is great. Together in one Pokemon, and sure, it's a VMAX, but in reality, VMAX actually just means that it's a stage 1. 1 evolution, off you go. That is not much, ladies and gentlemen. That is not much at all. So any psychic deck is just going to be all over this. The fact that you can accelerate an energy from your hand and then get more energy on the board. The fact that you can draw 2 cards. It is important to note, it is one of your bent psychic Pokemon, not one of your other bent psychic Pokemon. So that means that you can just accelerate to itself and then draw some cards. Obviously, outside of a deck playing Psychic Energy, it's not going to work. Sorry. But in decks playing Psychic Energy, this is amazing. And it's not just that we're going to put it into decks playing Psychic Energy, it's that we are going to play a lot more decks revolving around Psychic Energy because of how gosh darned good this actually is. Then we've got an attack for free colorless energy that does 10 damage minimum, plus 30 more free psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon in play. And this is again a just phenomenal attack. Because You accelerate to yourself, and bearing in mind, right, turn 1 you attach, turn 2 your VMAX, attach, ability, there's 100 damage right there. And that's your base, that's your minimum, right? That's assuming you only have one Shadow Rider Calyrex, that's assuming you don't attach any more energy in any other way. It really is kind of awesome. And of course, it is extra energy attached to all of your Pokemon that does the extra damage. So that means that when Shadow Rider Calyrex goes down, you should only lose 3 energy and then just keep going from there. It is an absolutely phenomenal card, and in the same way that Zoroark used to be a case of just play Zoroark with anything, it will be good, I feel like playing Shadow Rider Calyrex with anything will end up being really, really good. Now, I'm not quite so enamored by Ice Rider Calyrex, both in terms of the art and the card itself. Shout out to Oswaldo Cato here for just doing some amazing artwork. And you got a very similar thing. Now, if you've played the games, if you've played the Crown Tundra DLC, this village that you're riding through will look very, very familiar. It is very clearly the village in which you first meet Calyrex, blah, blah, blah. So, in terms of thematics here, we're absolutely golden. Again, you look absolutely giant, but we've got the same 2.4 meters or 7'10" height. And I'm sorry, but the artwork of both of these cards makes this horse look a lot more than 7 foot tall. Unless those people are all like 6 inches tall, in which case maybe that would work. But we've still got a special art card here, and it is still an amazing card. Now, the reality is, it is actually going to end up being quite a bit cheaper than the other one, I would imagine, because I don't think the artwork is as good, personally. That's personal choice on my part. But mostly just because Shadow Rider Calyrex, like I've said, is going to be a meta-defining card, and I don't imagine that Ice Rider Calyrex will be. Could be wrong, but I feel pretty confident about that prediction. So, Ice Rider Calyrex then, what have we got? 2 energy, 10 damage, plus 30 more for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And to be fair, this is a pretty good attack. This is an attack you can use to basically punish your opponent. If your opponent's got a full bench of 5, you're actually doing 160 damage for a single energy. Yay, you get to KO a Dedenne, woo! But boo, because actually by the time this comes out, Dedenne is going to have rotated, and we're all going to be playing things like Crobat and Kricketune that come in at 180 HP. Doesn't mean you can't get KOs on them. There's ways to do little bits of extra damage here and there. Just means you'll have to work a lot harder for it. But it does mean, for instance, that you will be hitting 320 against Pokemon that are weak. Like, for instance, Centiskorch, that incidentally comes in with 320 HP and will be KO'd. Or Victini, that comes in with 310 HP and will be KO'd and is looking like one of the best decks in the format, both pre and post rotation, although we're still very early in the format. But look at the online tournaments, it is showing up. So essentially, it is a really good 2 energy counter against things like Victini and Centiskorch, as well as just being an efficient attacker. Now, it does for 2 energy do 10 damage, and you may discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon, and if you do 120 more for each energy discarded this way, so it's basically 2 energy, 260. Now, you don't have to, you could just discard 1 energy and do 130 if that was all you needed, but it's basically 2 energy, 260. And in a Frostmoth deck, something that can accelerate a bit of energy, or even a Frostlass deck, lets you attach 1 energy from your discard when you evolve up into it. Obviously, you then reuse it with Scoop Up Net. There are reasons to be a little bit excited about this. It's a pretty good attack. It's a very efficient attack. Good damage, not using very much energy at all. I don't think Ice Rider Calyrex is a stunning card, and the artwork for me is fine. But there are going to be people that are excited about this, and I'm excited for them. For me, it is all about Shadow Rider Calyrex. This is, I would have to sit down and make a list. But I think this might go into top 10 artworks all time for me. And I know it's new and maybe I'm exaggerating, I don't know. But this is a piece of Pokemon art that I just keep looking at and going, oh my goodness, it is proper job over the top amazing. I'm just a little bit upset that if I don't draw this out of a pack, if I don't pull it from a pack, The chances of me actually getting this card are going to depend on how easily I can convince my wife that paying probably about 150 quid for one Pokemon card is a good use of the family funds. And I love my wife, and I'm fairly sure my wife loves me. And my wife is wonderful, as I've mentioned in these videos before. But I think that's going to be a pretty hard sell when you've got 2 kids and a mortgage. But a man can dream, ladies and gentlemen. A man can dream. For now, I want to know what you think about both of these artworks and both of these cards. There are more special arts and full arts and all of that in the set. We should know them by the middle of the week. And by now, you know that as soon as they are revealed, I will be coming along to show you all about them. But for now, I want to know what you think about these two. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.